I was very fortunate in the beginning to have a direct service from Srila Gurudeva. He put me in charge of the books. For instance, I was in charge of the book room, distributing the books and taking all the books and giving them to the markets. And so I had very intimate contact with Gurudeva at that time. So I knew that Srila Gurudeva liked me because one time when I had to go to America to renew my visa, and Gurudev said, oh, you have to go to America, and most devotees would come and maybe never come back, you know. So I went to America. I was back then practically the next day. And Gurudev saw me and he said, so when are you going to America? And I said, well, Gurudev, I already went. And his face just with a huge smile, and he was so happy, you know. And so therefore I knew that Gurudev actually, I could take him into my heart as my own, you know. But gradually over the times when I was associating with him, because of his intimacy and his giving of himself, he became like my friend. I saw him as my father. I saw him as my guru. I saw him in many, many, many different ways. I also had like a joking relationship with Gurudev, kind of like, you know, I would try to make him happy by saying different things. For instance, one time when he had darshan on the roof, he was sitting there and he called me over. He said, I just have my new room here, you know. You go in my room and see what color it should be painted, and then come out and tell me which color, what do you think? So I went into his room and I thought, you know, I looked around here and there and I thought, I'm going to make Gurudev laugh, you know. So I came out and he said, so what do you think? And I said, Gurudev, I think you should paint it the color of the rainbow. And Gurudev just broke out into this massive laugh. And he laughed and he laughed and he laughed so hard, you know. And then I went away and he kept giving darshan and like this. And we have many darshans like this with Gurudev. Even he would say, turn off the speakers, you know, because we'll want to joke and this and that. So Gurudev was very, you know, comedy, liked to joke, but at the same time very, very, very strict. So if you want to follow someone, you should always search for a self-realized soul who you can develop a good relationship with.
It was a very special time for us. It was a very special time for me. I never in my life, even my dreams, think that Gurudev would come and visit my house. Mm. And he actually told me this in somebody else's house in London after that. He said, Lalita, you know, I never dreamt I would come to the West, you know, and I'll come to your house, you know. And then we were sitting there and he was looking at the children and he said to me, when you first came to me, you were yourself was a child. Now you have children of your own. So where is the place for me in your heart? Everything is divided, you know? I said, no, Gurudev, you'll always be number one. I said, no, I know, but I said, you will always be number one. You'll always come first, before even anybody or my children even. Which they have realized that now. Guruji was so nice. He talked to, he met a lot of people, and he met a devotee, I won't mention names, a lady, an Indian lady, and she lives on her own, and she was asking Gurudev, should she get married to this other person, right? No mention. So Gurudev was like, so what do you do? I said, I work full time in a library. So do you earn well? And she goes, yes. What about, where do you live? Do you have your own house? And she goes, yes, I have my own house. So why do you need a man to support you? This is Gurudev. You don't need a man to support you. You're independent. She never came back. It's amazing. It really, really is amazing, you know. And then I was like, oh my God, she's got upset now because she actually wanted to get married, you know. But she did. In the end, she did not to this one, but somebody else.
Sure. Right.
Okay. So that was that. And I thought, oh my God, if Gurudev is going to be like this, we are not going to have followers. Talk about being, but Gurudev was, but you said, but the thing is that, you know, Gurudev did a lot for us girls actually.
Yes.
He did.
Yeah.
He really did. You know, he gave us, Srila Prabhupada actually gave us so much chances to even worship deities. Normally in India, you know, women don't worship in the mat. They don't worship deities. Ladies are not allowed. But Swami Maharaj was so merciful. Gurudev was so merciful. We often talk about this, you know. Me, Pramanata Didi and Gayatri Didi, I told Gayatri Didi, I said, Gayatri Didi, if I did something wrong, he'll cut my throat. But if a Westerner will do something wrong, he will say, don't do this. He'll just chastise them. He was so merciful to you girls. He was so merciful to the Westerners. Honestly, he really was. You know?
We lived in Govardhan for 3 years to do the wall paintings for the temple with Shamrani Dini. And it was a special time because Gurudev would come there between Janmashtami and Radhastami. He would come and stay in Govardhan. And we could see him come back from his morning walk, and he'd pace around the lotus every afternoon. And you know, there's a chance to kind of greet him as he's going to his room or coming out. So one time we were standing there, it was me and Vasanti, I think Manjari was next to us, and he stopped and he's like, you can do a drama? And we were like, who's he talking to? And we were like, what? And then he's like, for Radhastami in Mathura, can you do a drama? And we were like, oh my God. So Manjari kind of took it more upon her to do Chamakar Chandrika, the story where Krishna disguises himself as Abhimanyu. And so we practiced and put together a drama, and we performed it in Mathura on Radhastami night. And it was really amazing because I was playing Krishna disguised as Abhimanyu. But then I needed to look the same as Abhimanyu. And so, I don't know, somehow they had Thakurji's Maha outfits. And so we were wearing Krishna and Mahaprabhu's kurtas. And, you know, normally before a drama you get like kind of nervous or like butterflies in your stomach. But it was like, I felt so like just playful, you know, like, okay, like, you know, let's do it. And I don't know, I really felt the kurta gave some special power. And so we did the drama, and then at the end Gurudev said, Chamatkar Chandrika. And, you know, then he was speaking in Hindi. It was mostly Mathuravasis. And we all ran upstairs, and we were just waiting outside his room, like, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. And I don't know, he was just so happy that we'd, like, pulled it together, because we were not drama people, you know, but, like, and yeah, there was a whole group of us girls that were all staying in Govardhan, and Jai Jai Shri Radhe. And then we planned to spend the night in Mathura, but then we were like, oh, let's go back to Govardhan. There's so many of us, it'll be safe, no problem. Halfway to Govardhan, the bus breaks down on the side of the road, and we're like, I don't know, maybe 9 girls, and we're like, what do we do? And then out of nowhere comes this flatbed rickshaw, and these men tried to take it, and then Bhadra Didi was like, bless her heart, she was like, would you leave your mother and sisters out here, like, give us the rickshaw. So we're all trying to pack into this like flatbed rickshaw, and then we look back and there's this one like fat Indian lady, and we're like, oh, we'll make room, come on. So we're all like kind of holding on to each other, like leaning out to keep the center of gravity like over the rickshaw. And we were all just completely blissed out from doing the drama. And it was like, it started raining and we were like singing. We just started singing louder. It was like, no, whatever went wrong, we didn't even care because we were just so happy from this little blessing from Gurudev. And the last moment, the rickshaw driver, he went to pull into the temple and he like turned too sharply and the whole rickshaw just dumped and we all landed on the front step of the temple just like cracking up, like as happy as could possibly be because, you know, this moment with Gurudev that day.
Another place, like to Berlin, near Berlin, and then we were like in a community of devotees also, but like very loose group, like some people were coming from Paramedvati Swami, some were connected to ISKCON, some were just like more Christian orientated and stuff, so and we were meeting together and doing kirtans, and then one day Gurudev sent his preachers there. We invited regularly preachers from all kinds of background, and so then that was in 2001, I think, and yeah, there was the first bigger festival that Gurudev was preparing in Germany, and so Aranya Maharaj that time was coming to that place and was preaching, and so that was really interesting to hear, and the kirtans were really far out, and so I was invited to Srila Gurudeva, and so the festival was like 3 months later, or no, not actually, it was quite near, like a month maybe. And then it was arranged in one Christian monastery, like a very nice place and serene, like, you know, it was in winter time and in the middle of the forest, and it was near to the biggest ISKCON center in Germany, in southwest Germany. And so the devotees of ISKCON also had the chance to see Srila Gurudev. So, and yeah, that was like just very fascinating, because in ISKCON we kind of like heard a lot of things like several times, and it seemed like there was nothing more to know. And then Gurudev just catapulted it, you know, to wow. And that festival was just amazing. Like, have you been there? No. Yeah, it was really nice. Like the paintings of Shyamarani Didi and like the kirtans and the classes of all the different devotees, like sannyasis and householders and Srila Gurudevs. I couldn't understand his English in the beginning so well, and so yeah, that was like the start. I was introduced by my friend and Suniti Didi and her husband Narahari, so we were in the darshan, and Suniti Didi said some really funny thing. She said, like, look here, I brought Bhakta Torsten, and then he's a jewel, you know, like this, and you told us to bring you flowers and jewels, so here's a jewel, and I felt like, oh no. And then Gurudev, but it was very cool because Gurudev cut that immediately. He said, like, yeah, it might be a jewel, but he has to be cleaned thoroughly, like that.